Okay, we're going to look at some of the summertime constellations. If it actually, well, actually, right now it's pretty sunny out, so probably, but we've been getting a lot of clouds and rain lately, so. And our location, just north of Maine. So, we're going to look at Scorpio first. I'll rewind it a bit so we can see what Scorpio looks like in its entirety. Okay. I guess this will have to do. But Scorpio is the scorpion. It's fairly close to the horizon. But we'll go and look at Antares, which is a double star. So I think it's also one of them is a red giant, and they're variable. A lot of stars are variable because they're either in a stage where they're going off the main sequence, which is where most of the stars are, and transition to large giant stars, or they're just being formed, so then their brightness changes over time. And some of these stars, if you observe them in different galaxies over time, you can figure out how far they are away by the change in the brightness, because certain stars change a certain amount of brightness during a certain period of time, and some of those are called Cepheid variables. Okay, and it's also located in the Antares Nebula, which is a large gas cloud of hydrogen that's been ionized, and you can see it here is quite diffuse and hazy. Okay. Another constellation in this area that a lot of people don't actually know about is Ophiuchus, and nobody knows how to pronounce it properly. It's Greek for the serpent bearer. And there's a couple of globular clusters in it. The Gumball. And I see there's some really bright stars in it. That's probably why it gets the name the Gumball cluster. And down here we have M10, one of the not a comet objects from Messier's list. It's also known as NGC 6254 in another catalog, the New General Catalog. And then we have M14, the globular star cluster, another globular star cluster. No real nickname for it, but it's another one of those not a comet cluster. Okay, high sauce. Okay, now we're going down into Scutum, and I don't know what that's actually what that name translates to, but I'm looking for something. Some of the more the Eagle Nebula. There's a small region in this nebula that is fairly famous because of Hubble. The M16 is the Messier number, and another name for it is Star Queen cluster, Star Queen Nebula. There's a famous image from Hubble called the Pillars of Creation, which was taken out of this, and it shows a number of fingers kind of poking up through the gas, and at the very tips have like solar systems being formed in it. And M25, there are a lot of, this is an open cluster, which is a bunch of young stars that are just being formed out of a nebula and going their way. And down here we get M54 in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is supposed to be, it looks like The Greeks thought it was a centaur, which is a half human, half horse archer. But to me, it just looked like a tea kettle. And here we go. And there we have M54. Then we have M70. And then we have M69. Remember, these are like hundreds of thousands of stars packed into just light years of distance, radius. So there's quite a few stars right in the middle, and it kind of spreads out near the end in some of these. They could be the remnants of galaxies that are our galaxy have gobbled up. Also in this area is the center of the galaxy. It actually shows up very regularly, very plainly in the radio spectrum. There's a big radio source in here called Sagittarius A star, and that's where the central black hole is located. But you wouldn't be able to. That light gets through because radio gets through dust and gas and stars a lot easier than the visible light. Now, let's see if we can find anything else in here. You have the Lagoon Nebula, which is another H2 region, and it actually has a lot of globules in it, which are areas where the stars are being formed. They look black, but in the radio, again, because radio goes through dust quite easily, you can see stars being formed in them. And the Trifid Nebula, which is another nebula in the star forming region. It's about 6 magnitude, which you can, some very dark places you could probably see it. And most of these things you either have to catch in the early evening or be on top of a hill looking to get over the trees, because they are fairly close to the horizon. Okay. Probably won't take a too close a look in this area, but there's Vega, which is about 26 light years away. Yeah, it's a double star. Then you have Deneb, which is part of the constellation Cygnus. And then you have Altair, which is part of the constellation Aquila, the Eagle. And during the summer, this is called the Summer Triangle, to try to find things in the night sky. And also, in this region here, last fall there was supposed to be a nova, which is a new star. It happens about every 80 years. In this area, what's happening is there's a giant red star and a little white dwarf beside it, and the white dwarf is taking all the fuel off the red giant and all the gas from the red giant outer layers, and then it gets enough to ignite a nuclear explosion for a little while, and then dims back down. It was supposed to be last fall. I don't think that anybody figured out exactly why it's not doing that, but it's probably the red giant's probably losing a lot of its outer atmosphere over time, so it's probably getting harder for the white dwarf to gather enough, but that's just speculation. But I think that'll be enough for today. Hopefully I'll do more of these. I've been playing around with the new mic and actually still not quite working well. I'm right now talking to the mic of my of a camera or a webcam. Okay, have a good day. It is sunny out, so hopefully some people will be able to go out. It's a little chilly right now, but wherever you are, have a good day and goodbye.